What's up, warriors? Oos, welcome back to the channel. In this video, I'm gonna tell you how I quit eating sugar for 60 days and how I feel. Now, you know, I combined semen retention with a bunch of other habits that I've either taken away or taken up, and I'm gonna share them with you in this video. If you don't know me, my name is Nakapan. I am right here at the gym in my martial arts school. I'm sorry, it's really loud in Washington, D.C. You probably hear sirens, and you also probably hear the dog daycare upstairs that's got like 30 million dogs in there barking at the same time. But in any case, I just finished a workout, and now's a good time to talk about the benefits that I'm getting after 60 days of no sugar. Now, just give you a little backstory about me. I, growing up, was overweight. I loved eating sugar. I ate donuts. I actually ate 2 gigantic powdered donuts with milk every morning for breakfast because I was raised by my grandparents and they had no idea what nutrition was. And so they were just happy that I was eating. You know, they were born in the time of the World War II where food wasn't so much available. So we always had food in our freezer, kind of just locked up in there all the time. And so they were just happy to see me eat, especially if it was just full of sugar, and I was so happy about it. But anyway, that's really how I get this really bad habit of eating sugar and enriched wheat, you know, cake, donuts, especially cake donuts. I love them. Yeah, so that's been all my life. And so, you know, as I grew up, I had that habit, or what you call bad habit. We'll call it a vice, eating sugar and sweets. And I combined that with a whole bunch of other bad habits. I have 5 altogether. I'll name them for you in no particular order. And now 7.5 years, I've been off these 3. Weed, PMO, also known as fapping, and nicotine. Nicotine because I mixed nicotine with my weed and smoked it, right? But I've been clean 7.5 years, best decision I've ever made. Last 2 habits that I've dropped was caffeine. You saw my video about how I felt after 150 days no caffeine. I'm not going back. And no sugar now. And a lot of that came from going on this path of the Triple Crown Championship, right? And so what I'm doing, I'm going for, if you're new to the channel, I am going to be the first person to get the Triple Crown Champion, something that I made up, which is an over 45 champion in Kudo, Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, and Judo in the over 45 division, of course. No one's ever done that to my knowledge, and I need every single advantage I can get. And one of them was retaining my seed. I shared with you how I felt about it after 183 days. I've only spilled my seed 1 time, but I'm now on 217 days. I'm not even going to count the days anymore because it's a lifestyle, right? And this is one of the people that inspired me to do it. Hickson Gracie, he would retain his seed for months before a fight. And he said he'd give him special power, so I had to look into that. So that's why I kind of took it on myself, right? I have to fight these people, and so I want to make sure, again, I have every single advantage. And one of the things that takes away that advantage is sugar. Another thing is caffeine. We can talk about that another time. But sugar because I can't even explain how I felt. You know, I was retaining my seed for like 3 months, 90 days. I hit the 90-day mark. I felt good, but there were some days where I just didn't feel the same amount of energy that I was used to feeling retaining my seed. I told you how much boundless energy that you get. I could work out 2 times a day, 3 times a day, and recover fast. And I wasn't feeling that every single day. It was better than I had ever felt, of course, when I was just fapping, PMOing, and doing whatever, right? I was feeling much better, but I wanted even more. You always want to get the most out of this benefit, especially if you're taking on this much discipline. And one of the things that I read on all the forums, go to the semen retention forum on the Reddit. It is a wealth of information. It's great where people share their experience with it, which is pretty much what I'm doing too, as we chase greatness together. And one of the things I found was people were talking about sugar, you know, among other things, but how it kills that energy sometimes. It kills the creativity. It gives you brain fog, right? These are all things that happen when you eat sugar anyway. And so I thought, okay, well, let me see if I can just not eat it anymore. It took me a little bit of time, you know, just like with any type of vice or any type of addiction, you kind of crave it, right? And that's the problem with sugar. Once you start eating it, you kind of want more. You eat a piece of cake, you want a second one. It's very difficult to stop, at least for me. And if you're anything like me, you know, we have, I do everything in extremes, right? Everything 100%. So if I'm gonna eat cake, I'm gonna eat all the cake. If I'm gonna eat donuts, all the donuts, the most I can possibly can. All the weed, let's smoke it, let's go. So I can't really exist in moderation, unfortunately. I try to walk the middle path, but sugar is not one of the middle paths that I can walk. It's gotta be all or nothing, at least for me. Now, when I say sugar, let me just define sugar, right? And a fruit has sugar in it. I'm staying away from table sugar, okay? That's also in like sauces. You got to be careful with that too. So refined sugar, no refined sugar. But some, like my granola has a little bit of honey. I don't add any honey in it, but it's made with honey, so there's a little bit of honey in there. So I'm not like totally cutting out all sweet things. And if you need sweet things, I have a good cheat code for you, and I'll tell you a little bit about that later. So now, how did I feel? 60 days. It took me a little bit of time to get off of sugar. I'll tell you how I felt when I was eating sugar. Okay, definitely. On a Sunday, I went to a martial arts retreat, and they had dessert every night. I mean, they had delicious food, but it was dessert. I was like, oh, I might as well eat that. So I'd had like a cherry cobbler with 2 scoops of ice cream on it. And then when everybody left, I'd grab the ice cream container and eat more ice cream, right? And then I'm trying to think of all that. And we had some delicious cornbread or this like blueberry scone biscuits. Yeah, I can even remember them in my mind. They were so delicious. And I ate as many as I could because there was so much left over. So now, fast forward, I fly home. The next day I go to sleep. I wake up and I just feel moody. I feel like, you know, I can't say depression is not a real thing. I know people suffer from it. And I used to at one point see a shrink about, you know, but really I think a lot of it has to do with our habits. And one of the habits that gave me some depressed mood was eating a lot of sugar. Not right away. When you're doing it, it's like the dopamine is firing, right? But afterward, you feel just sluggish, tired, moody. You don't feel that same fire to want to create and that motivation, right? And I didn't know what that was. I was like, why is everything kind of setting me off right now? I get up in the morning and I'd already given up caffeine. I was just already like, why did I feel like this? And so I said, you know, there's one more thing that I need to eliminate from my diet, and that's sugar. So I decided to do that. Leading up to the first attempt at winning that first jewel on that Triple Crown, that IBJJF World Masters tournament, I had to lose weight for it. I said I might as well just forego eating any type of sugar and just kind of stay on that kick, right? So it's been 60 days now. First thing is just, it doesn't make you happy all the time. You're not going to be happy all the time, especially retaining your seed. Like, oh, I'm super happy. I'd be lying to you if I said that. But I feel like a zest for life. I feel like I want to create. I want to do something, that I have the power in my own hand. Yeah? That's how I feel now. And I didn't feel that every single day. And I still don't feel it every single day to that degree, but I feel like a very steady level of that type of drive. And it's just a good mood, you know? And so it's like, somebody said, a second childhood. It feels great. So that's one thing. So haven't been getting in these depressed moods. 1. 2, the energy that I get now is even more steady. I said giving up caffeine has really leveled off my energy, but this time it's like a sustained high level. Instead of eating something and feeling tired and sleepy, I feel just an even high energy, even up to like at nighttime. I'm also trying to get the right amount of sleep. And I've listened to a lot of podcasts say 7 to 8 hours. And right now I've been sleeping like 6. And there's nights where I sleep only 2 because, you know, I got a 5-year-old, things happen. But, and I still feel great. I'm trying to recover that sleep and it just hasn't happened yet. I just have so much energy. I want to get up. I want to create. I want to do things. I want to get things done. It's kind of crazy. And I feel that now by cutting out sugar. So 1, no more depressed mood. 2, even more boundless energy, if that's even possible. 3, the inflammation that my body got, I can tell immediately. Like the next morning, I feel like a squirrel, you know, or like a hamster. After I've eaten something and I try to keep it away in my jaws, I felt like that. I eat ice cream, I wake up and look at myself in the mirror, I'm like, man, I just look so bloated. Almost like Will Ferrell in Anchorman. Like, milk was a bad choice, you know, except mine was ice cream. That was a bad choice. Terrible. And I don't feel like that anymore. I feel lean. I feel like vibrant. I feel like I have a lot of energy. When I look at myself, I think it's a big deal. You know, to a certain degree. I would lie if I said like I don't work out and do this thing to look a certain way. As a matter of fact, one of the reasons why I do jiu-jitsu and Muay Thai and martial arts so much is so that I can eat whatever I want, right? I'm gonna eat however many pieces of pie and cake that I want. Everybody was so almost envious of me that I could eat so much. And also I think being of the Asian persuasion, we have a very fast metabolism. So I was doing that. I was eating a whole bunch of different food, and then that's what made martial arts part of my life even more. Is like I get to eat whatever I want. And now I'm not really doing that. But here's the thing. I think discipline, willpower, that's all finite to a certain degree. If I have to look at something like, oh, I don't want to eat that anymore because I can't, I gotta, no, really, after experiencing the benefits that I'm getting from retaining my seed, not eating sugar, not drinking caffeine, not smoking weed, definitely not smoking cigarettes, and not PMOing, I know what I need to do as a lifestyle, right? And I feel it now. So therefore, like it's an easy decision to make. And right now, as we're pursuing this goal, my next opportunity to compete and get that first jewel on the Triple Crown is in Paris. So you're following my series. I'm gonna go to Paris November 2nd and compete in the Veterans Judo World Championship, which is probably a mistake because they have great judo out there in Europe and Eastern Europe and all over, and they're all gonna be in Paris. And the United States, some would argue that our judo is not great, but I'm gonna go there anyway. I'm gonna give the best I can, and I'm gonna get that first jewel on that Triple Crown because all I know right now is I gotta go out there and win. So that's my next thing. And so taking all these different habits and combining them together, I'm gonna be sharing them with you so that you can follow my story and hopefully get some benefit out of it as well and maybe have the idea to do it too. Now listen, I don't have all the answers, right? I'm doing this as a science experiment on myself. I'm just documenting how I feel, and hopefully that y'all can get some value out of it. And if you're getting value out of this channel, please consider subscribing to the channel. I also have a lot of courses in the description section for martial arts. I think martial arts is going to save the world. I want everybody to get into it. And so therefore, all my warriors here that are not in martial arts, I'll call you gardeners. That's okay. Gardeners, learn how to be a warrior. And all you warriors, also got to learn how to be a gardener, okay? I said one more thing. If you do like sweets and you are trying to lose weight, which has always been a struggle for me, make sure you check out the description, the link in the description, which is a link to an AI prompt that I use to give me meals and make sure that I get my weight correctly, whether I'm competing or just training. It'll make sure that you get fueled up correctly and give you recipes that you like to eat. You just got to fill in information like what you like to eat, when you want to eat, what your goals are, and that'll all get worked out for you. So just in the link in the description below, go ahead and fill out your information. I'll make sure I send it to you, okay? But thank you all for watching, and hopefully you got a lot out of this, and I'm going to continue this journey, and I'll see you in the next one. Oos.